In this video, we are going to learn about polynomial long division. So before we dive into long division with polynomials, let's go ahead and practice with regular numbers. So if I want to divide 44 by 4, I know that it goes in 11 times, but just to show the process, I'm going to take 4 and I'm dividing 44. So what you do is you take the 4 and you're going to divide the very first digit of the number inside. 4 goes into 4 one time. I'm going to take the 1 and I'm going to multiply it with the 4 and I'm going to write it underneath. 1 times 4 is 4. Now when I subtract, that's the next step, 4 minus 4 is 0. And I know I'm not done yet, so I'm going to bring down the next 4. So I can treat this basically like it's just 4. Right, ignore the 0. And then I start over. 4 goes into, right, this 4 goes into 4, this one time. Okay, I do it again. I do 1 times the 4, which is 4. And now I subtract, and I have a remainder of 0. There's nothing left. And hey, what do you know? My answer is 11. 4 goes into 44 11 times. Okay, so let's do this with one that maybe is a little bit more challenging. This time I'm going to divide, let's give it a little bit more space, divide 106 by 4. Usually you try to see how many times the digit on the outside fits into the first digit on the inside, but 4 does not go into 1. So instead, we are going to look at 4 going into 10. 4 goes into 10 2 times. So now I'm going to multiply 2 times 4. That goes to 8. Okay, and now I'm going to subtract. Subtract 10 minus 8 is 2. I need to bring down the 6. How many times does 4 go into 26? 4 goes into 26 6 times. Okay, so now I'm going to do 6 times 4, which is 24. I'm going to subtract. And I'm left with 2. Now, I don't have anything left to bring down, and 4 doesn't go into 2. So here's where you'd say, in the past, we have a remainder of 2. But instead, this is really just 26, and we still have 2/4 left over, right? 2/4. Okay, so let's do one more. This time, we're going to do 10, and we're going to divide 1,843 by 10. Okay, so 10, I'm going to check it out. Does it go into 18? Yes, it does. It only fits in there one time. Okay, 1 times 10 is 10. I'm going to go ahead and subtract. 18 minus 10 is 8. 10 does not go into 8, so I'll drop down the 4. 10 goes into 84 8 times. Okay, 8 times 10 is 80. Go ahead and subtract. I'm left with 4. Bring down the 3. Okay, 10 goes into 43 4 times. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 10, that's 40. Subtract. I have a remainder of 3. Or really, I've got 10 goes into 1,843 184 times, and I have 3/10 left over that didn't fit inside, which makes sense. We can do this in decimal form. You get 184.3, which is the same thing as 184 plus 3/10. So let's keep going, and let's do this with polynomials now. All right, so it looks a little intimidating, but bear with me. We're going to do this. We are dividing 3x cubed plus 8x squared minus 33x plus 10. We're dividing that by x plus 5. So here's how this is going to work. I'm really only going to focus on the first term of the polynomial outside. And then I'm going to focus on the first term inside. If I took 3x cubed and divided it by x, just like we did before, I would end up with 3x squared. The next step that we did before was we multiplied the term on the top by the term outside right here. So if I do that, I'm going to get 3x cubed plus 15x squared. The next step that we would do would be to subtract. Okay, so when I subtract, I'm actually going to go ahead and change both of my signs just so I don't forget to subtract both of them. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is 0. And 8x squared minus 15x squared is negative 7x squared. So this 0, I don't really need it. I'm going to go ahead and erase it. And now we start again. I'm going to take my x term and I'm going to divide negative 7x squared. Negative 7x squared divided by x, well, that's just minus 7x. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to multiply by my entire term. I get my entire outside term, negative 7x squared minus 35x. The next thing we need to do is subtract. So I'm going to drop down my minus 33x so that my x term right here has something to subtract with. I'm going to go ahead and change both my signs. So now I get 0. Once again, I actually don't need to write the 0. I know those are going to cancel out. And I'll have 2x. Now we start again. X, and I'm going to divide 2x. 2x divided by x is 2, so plus 2. All right, I'm going to multiply the 2 by my outside term. I get 2x plus 10. Time to subtract, so I need to drop down the 10. Subtract, subtract. Oh, I have 0. I have a remainder of 0. So I have 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. If I were to multiply 3x squared minus 7x plus 2 times x plus 5, I would end up getting the polynomial that I just divided. All right, let's do it again. I've got x plus 1. Then I'm going to write on the outside. On the inside here, I have x to the 4th minus 2x cubed. The next natural term would be an x squared term. And because we're missing it, we actually need to fill it in. We don't have any, so we're going to say we have 0 x squareds. But you'll see why we need that soon. So I'm going to fill it in, plus 4x plus 1. Okay, here we go. I need to do x. I'm going to divide x to the 4th by x. That is x cubed. I'll go ahead and multiply. I get x to the 4th plus x cubed. Time to subtract. When I subtract, I'll change my signs and then just add. I end up with negative 3x cubed. Time to start over. Negative 3x cubed divided by x is negative 3x squared. I'm going to go ahead and multiply by my outside term. I get negative 3x cubed minus 3x squared. Now when I subtract, I have that 0 x squared term to use for my subtraction. So I'll change the signs, add them together. I end up with 3x squared. Keep on going. X dividing 3x squared is 3x. I'm going to go ahead and multiply 3x squared plus 3x. Now time to subtract, so I'll bring the 4x down, change my signs in order to subtract. I'm left with, so 4x minus 3x is x. Okay, here we go. X is dividing x is 1. 1 times x plus 1 is x plus 1. Time to subtract. I'll bring down my plus 1. And when I subtract here, I'm left with 0. So my final answer when I divide is x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x plus 1. Let's try another example. Okay, number 6, we're going to write as 2x minus 2 dividing negative 4x squared plus 4x minus 1. Okay, it's the same process as before. I'm taking 2x and I'm dividing negative 4x squared. I'm left with minus 2x. All right, let's multiply. I get negative 4x squared plus 4x. All right, time to subtract. I'll change my signs in order to subtract, and whoa, I'm left with nothing. And when I drop down my minus 1, I know that 2x does not divide negative 1. So what we're going to do, we have a remainder here. My final answer, I still have negative 2x, right? We got that on the top of our little division there. And I'm going to add my remainder. I have negative 1, and it's going to be divided by the term that I was dividing with, 2x minus 2. Okay, it's kind of like adding the leftovers, right? Those could not fit in. There you have it. Okay, let's do another one. This one's a little bit longer. I've got x squared minus 6x plus 1 dividing 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus 12x minus 3. All right, let's begin. X squared is going to divide 2x cubed. I've got 2x, so when I multiply by everything, I'll end up with 2x cubed minus 12x squared plus 2x. Time to subtract. I have 0. Oh, gotta change my signs. 0 plus 3x squared plus 10x. Okay, don't need my 0 there, or the plus. All right, time to start over. X squared dividing 3x squared is just 3. 3 times my number on the outside, my polynomial, I'll have 3x squared minus 18x plus 3. All right, time to subtract. Bring down my minus 3. Be careful with your subtraction. It's very, you typically want it to equal 0. For some reason, humans like 0. It's just easier. But when we do this one, I have 0, and I end up with 28x minus 6. Okay, so we have a remainder. There's our remainder. So let's rewrite our answer. On the top, we have 2x plus 3. And I'm going to add the remainder, which is 28x minus 6 over x squared minus 6x plus 1. And there you go. Thanks for watching.